Let me know. Can you see me? I think a few people are getting on. Yes, trying it again, little cub. Can you hear me or see me? Let's see if this works. All right, a few people are getting on. Let me know if you are hearing or seeing me. Yes, okay, perfect. All right, we're gonna try this again. We came to the car this time. My office technology, I guess, was not working right. So I'm glad this is working. We're gonna try it on my cell phone. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what just took place with the markets. Hey guys, thank y'all so much for being here. Now, let's talk a little bit about the market. All right, so let's go back a few days ago. I made an announcement about the April 2nd with the tariffs and all that taking place. You know that. All of a sudden, Trump comes out and makes the comment that he's going to start the tariffs. What takes place on our market and what takes place with all the other markets? What took place? Well, every market went down. Every market struggled. Now, we say America's market struggled, and it did. It did struggle. But where our market went down a few points and, of course, trillions of dollars lost, it really hurt other markets. Why did it hurt other markets more? Because it showed the power of America and showed the power of the president. And I think that was the biggest key in this whole thing. Remember, I told you before, I don't think the tariffs was actually the main goal in this. I think it was the negotiations and the power of the president. And when he speaks, I think the world listens. Okay, so what happened? He put the tariffs in, several countries caved, and all of a sudden they started coming to him in negotiations. It went from 50 countries to 70 countries. They said upwards of 80 countries actually went and started trying to negotiate better trade deals, okay? Where it's the biggest country that we were worried about, China. All right, so China, their market fell out. They actually devalued their currency a little bit, their yuan, caused major problems for their market more than it caused ours. So say we lost 6%, let's just say 6%. They lost 8 to 10%. I mean, it really hit their market harder than it hit us. Now, that was because Trump made the move with tariffs and his administration. What happened today? We saw China's market go crazy, and we saw that 60 to 70, they said, countries came and wanted to negotiate with the president, okay? Their markets were already hurting. America's market was hurting, but China's market fell out. China came out and said they're going to retaliate with tariffs. You know all that. What happened this morning? Around 9 to 10 o'clock this morning, Trump said it's a great day to start buying into the market. So like what you'd hear, a lot of people say, we're going to buy the dip. Okay? So what happened was he made a comment about, it's a great day to buy into the market. Nobody really thought much about it. Everybody thought he was probably just saying, hey, look, we need to stabilize the market. We're going to stabilize the market by just maybe him saying that. What did he do? He came out and did a pause on the tariffs. Now, here's what everybody's missing. The liberals will say, well, what he did, he just caved. Okay? No, it's not what he did. Let's talk about it. This is just my opinion. You can take it or leave it. Doesn't matter. He saw China retaliate with extra tariffs. Okay? Their market is struggling. All the other markets are struggling. If you remember yesterday, I think it was yesterday or Monday, there was a brief comment that trended on Twitter and said Trump may think of pausing tariffs, and what it made the market fluctuate like $2 or $3 trillion in a matter of minutes. And then he said, no, that was untrue. And then the market went back negative. What did that show? That showed that with one conversation, one major announcement from Trump, that it could change everything when it came to his announcement, if he decided to stop the tariffs or not. Okay? So what he did today, when he came in and said, okay, it's time to buy into the market, what he was basically doing, again, this is just in meme coins and crypto, you call it like a pump. Basically pausing the tariffs. What he actually did was prove one major thing. It proved that no matter what you think of Trump or this administration or the U.S. holds all the cards. Why? Because when he said that, the market swung trillions of dollars. Trillions of dollars. It went from completely negative to the whole market is positive now. What that did was prove two things. It gave everybody an opportunity who was willing to negotiate 90 days to negotiate, other than one, China. China doubled down. And then all of a sudden, when Trump announced this, he kept the tariffs on China, which means the pressure was on. And really the whole purpose of this trade deficit, the whole purpose of these tariffs probably was really about China in the first place. But what he did was he said, okay, I'm gonna give everybody an opportunity to fix their market. Because what happened is when he made the comment last week or a few days ago about, hey, we're going to make tariffs happen, every world market faltered. Tariffs. Slow down, and now win election negotiating one thing about tariffs in a negative way, I could dump your stock market, and then tweeting that now I'm ready to market fluff back up. If you're not willing to negotiate, I can destroy your market. If you're willing to negotiate, then we can work together and actually build a better trade negotiation. Okay, so that's exactly what happened. Now that being said, let's go from there. When he made that announcement, China doubled down. Every other market literally started going up, including ours. So all the money that you may have lost, or all the money that you've heard complained about for the last few days, literally all comes back to trillions put back into your accounts. Basically, 401ks went back up, 403bs went back up, IRAs went back up, all the stock went back up. Like, for instance, even mine, even though I lost some, and I don't have a lot of money in the market, but it showed that I'd gained like 12% just since the announcement. Just since the announcement. Now think about that. He literally made one announcement and changed not only America's economy and America's stock market, he changed every market, world markets now. So Trump makes one announcement and literally changes every market. Now, I don't think we understand and grasp that. What he just proved is that no matter what you think of him, and no matter what you think of America, America still holds all the power. Because remember, America is the biggest consumer right now there is. So everybody needs America to play the game. And if we don't play the game, then every economy struggles. So when he made this announcement, now he has a bigger chance to make all negotiations for a better trade with every person other than China. But what he did was China now, where they were going to try to negotiate and do kind of these side negotiations with all these other nations, what's happening is they won't be able to do that because now Trump holds all the cards, because now he's going to negotiate with every country, all 50 to 70 countries that has said that they're negotiating with him. What he actually just said was, look, we're going to negotiate and we're going to work together to build a better alliance against China. Now think about that. He literally, with one tweet, moved trillions of dollars to the positive. That is absolutely huge. I don't think there's anyone that's ever held that kind of power. That's crazy. So that means it's almost like you're playing a game of you ever played spades? And when you play spades, the spade always wins. It's the trump card. So basically, when you have a spade, they win the hands. Well, what Trump just did is basically he just took all the cards and took all the spades out of it and holds all the spades in his hand to where he wins every hand. Because not only did he make our market turn positive, he proved to everyone that he can change the market with one conversation. I think that's huge. And I think it too is now put pressure on China, because China just realized that America's willing to negotiate with every player in the world, including China. But now they gave a pause to every country other than China, because China chose to retaliate with higher tariffs. It doesn't matter if you think it was all a game. It probably was, to be honest with you. But what he proved is he can play the game better than anybody. I think this was the art of the deal. It's a major negotiation ploy. And I think what this is going to do is prove to actually benefit Trump and benefit Americans more than you can imagine. It was never truly about tariffs, I don't think. I think he's willing to put tariffs on anybody. But I don't believe it was ever about tariffs. I think, just like I've told you before in other videos, I think it was actually all about negotiating a fair deal and actually just showing that America still holds all the keys and holds all the spades. Now, what is your thoughts? I mean, did you notice your money go back up? Did you look? For instance, it's still down. Don't get me wrong. You're still going to be down compared to what you were just a few days ago. But the market is trending extremely well right now. So I do think that he made a great move. And the pause is not him caving. The pause is his negotiation. If all of a sudden you see all these countries negotiate with him, I think it's going to prove that he had that power. Now, one thing we tend to miss. All right, Scott Bessent. Scott Bessent knows the market better than most. Y'all do realize that he was part of the Soros group and the Stanley Druckenmiller group that helped short the British pound and basically caused the British market to fall out years and years and years ago. They knew how to do that. I think they're actually doing the same thing to the yuan. I think they're doing the same thing to China, kind of with what they did to Britain back years ago. If you don't like it or do like it, it doesn't matter. The whole point, someone a while ago said, well, it seems like it's a bunch of manipulation. That's exactly what it is. I think you're seeing manipulation because I think what Trump proves is that he holds the cards, and it's almost like a Game of Thrones in real life, where he's saying, okay, it doesn't matter what you may have hated Trump the last few days. There were so many people dogging him out because their 401k died. And all of a sudden in his mind, he's thinking, all I'm going to do is just turn around and say that we pause it. Everybody's going to come to the negotiation table. China's going to look bad. And then ultimately it helps us build a better trade across the world. I think it was a huge game of chess, and I think Trump won. You may think I'm wrong, but that's just my humble coming up. So please make sure that you check it out. In about 2.5 hours, we're going to be putting it out. But I did want to go live because I thought this is a big move, and I don't think we've